Hello everyone, it's a quad farmer here once again. I am Olufonde Additional by name, and today we are going to be talking about the importance and the source coupled with the regulation of heat for brooding process. So that's the three things we are going to be talking about today. Firstly, the importance of heat in brooding process. Secondly, the sources of heat for brooding. Then the last one, which is how to regulate heat during brooding process. But before we start this video, I would like you to subscribe to my channel so that you'll be able to see other videos like this. Also, turn on your notification bell so that you'll be able to know whenever I post interesting and educative video like this. So let's go into the video. As I said earlier on, we are talking about the importance of heat during brooding process. Firstly, what do you understand about brooding? So brooding is an artificial way or artificial method of applying heat, supplying heat rather, to chick. What is a chick? A chick is a very small poultry bird. Talking about, for example, a broiler. A broiler chick is a very small chick, like a day old. Why are we supplying heat to this particular animal? Before we go, what is heat? Heat is a form of thermal energy. Talking about that, when we say to talk about the temperature of an environment is hot, is high, that means the heat in that environment is on the high side. So when we are talking about the temperature of an environment is low, that means the heat in that particular environment is on the low side. So now, talking about the main reason or the reason why we get to add heat, supply heat to chick during brooding process. The main reason is because these so-called animals, when we get them from the hatchery, they are very small and they lack the apparatus for them to be able to generate heat. They are not equipped to be able to supply themselves heat because they are very young and their feather is not yet well developed. So they will be having issue to regulate their internal temperature. And another thing is that once the temperature of the environment drops, the body temperature of the chick will drop. Once the temperature of the environment increases, the body temperature of the chick increases. That is to make us to understand that the temperature, the external temperature between the first 1 or 2 weeks of a chick is regulated by an external sources of heat. Another thing I want us to know is that these animals, they are very small and they are very young. So it is possible for them to be exposed to diseases. The main reason is because they are not balanced. They are struggling to maintain their own body temperature. So therefore, disease will be able to penetrate inside them. That is another major reason why we get to supply them heat to balance their body temperature. Another reason that we get to supply them heat is because if we don't get to supply heat, the feed we are giving unto them, instead of them to convert it to grow in mass and to grow in weight, what will happen is that they will be converting this feed to generate heat for them to be able to survive. So instead of them to be able to maintain a particular weight at a particular time, that will not be possible because the feed they are supposed to be converting to grow, they've been using it to generate heat. So that's another reason. So we have to make sure that between this age 1, which we call them day old chick, to like a week or 2, we need to supply them heat so that they will be able to balance themselves both internal and externally with the environment. So that is just majorly the main reason why we need to add heat for them, just because we know they can't survive on their own. The other part, which is the source. What are the sources of heat during brooding? I'll be talking about 3 major sources of heat during brooding. The first one is using of charcoal. The second one is the using of electricity, while the third one is the using of gas. Let me take the first one first. Charcoal. As we all know, the main form of heat source that we use is charcoal, and the reason is not far-fetched. It's just because charcoal is less expensive than every other sources of heat. So what we do is that we get a coal pot, we get our charcoal, then once we need to supply the animal heat, we burn the charcoal inside the coal pot and take it inside. Remember, you don't light the charcoal inside, you light the charcoal outside. So in case there's any foreign material you need to remove from outside, you get to remove them. The reason is that you need to avoid smoke. Smoke in brooder can lead to CRD, chronic respiratory disease or chronic respiratory disorder. So you need to avoid smoke at all costs inside your brooder. That means the charcoal you are going to be using must be thoroughly burnt so that it won't bring about smoke. So as I was saying earlier on, charcoal is cheaper compared to electricity. Charcoal is readily available, so that is what the bulk of farmers use. And although we have a lot of people that are moving to every other sources too, but majorly, let's say, I can't give you statistical data, but majorly people, the bulk of farmers are brooding using charcoal because it is less expensive compared to every other one. And you have to be careful with it too, because if any fire gets to drop inside your brooder, it's possible there's a casualty. So that is that about charcoal. And the other one is electricity. So electricity, you can get to buy your electric heater. Once you have your electric heater, that will be your source of heat in your brooder. But one major factor about this is that we all know that we have electric supply of heat, of electricity in this particular side of the world. So it is a limiting factor to anybody that is trying to use electric heater as a source of heat in their brooder, unless they have a powerful gen that will be able to supply the necessary electricity for the heater. So that is that about that. It might be limiting because of our environment, although it is very effective. So talking about the third one now, the third one we can use is using of gas. Before I want to say anything about gas, we all know the current price of gas right now. As of today, the current price of gas in my environment here is 850 naira just for one. It's quite on the hard side for a farmer that wants to brood animal for like a week or 2 weeks. So it is not really economical, although it is effective too. But just because of the aspect of gas being expensive, it is not economical, and people might not want to go into it because it is very, very expensive. So those are the three main sources that we'll be talking about today. Now going to the last part, which is how to regulate heat during brooding process. I'll be talking about two methods. The first one is looking at the animal behavior. What do I mean about animal behavior? For example, if you as a man get to move closer to an hot environment, your body will react to it, and immediately you will move away from that environment. And once you are cold and you need heat, you yourself tend to move closer to the heat source to warm yourself up. That is the same way animals behave in the brooder. Once the heat coming from your heat source is getting too much, the animals will move away from the heat source because they don't want it to affect them. So what you do is that you get to see, once you notice the particular behavior, you get to know that the temperature of the room is very high to what the animal can bear. So you need to reduce the heat, either by taking out the charcoal or reducing the heater or whatsoever source you are using. So that is that about that. So once the temperature is down too, and the animals are feeling cold, or maybe the charcoal has burnt down, so what they do is that they tend to crowd around the charcoal or the heater just for them to be able to sustain themselves. So once you see this, you'll be able to know that I need to increase the heat in this environment. So by so doing, you'll be able to checkmate when you get to add heat and when you get to reduce the heat in your brooder. That is just using the animal behavior. The second one that I'll be talking about is using of thermometer. Thermometer helps us to regulate temperature. So whenever you use thermometer, you'll be able to know the brooder temperature at that particular time. So this is what people really do because it is more effective, because you know the particular calibration you want to use, you want to maintain in that brooder at a particular time. So it will be able to help you to regulate that and to know when to reduce the heat and when to increase the heat Thank you very much, everyone. This is where I will be stopping this particular video today. But please, I would like you to subscribe to my channel for more videos. And please too, the comment is very important. Help me drop what you feel about this video, what you think I can work on, and what you think I should work on, as in maybe for my next video, the video you think I can work on, so that you guys will be able to check it for the next time. Thank you very much. See you in my